All right, Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News every week, gracious enough to be with us on Coast to Coast. You can see him also on Fox Sports during the college hoop season, Big Ten Network. He's everywhere. He's omnipresent. Mike, I know you wrote about LeBron James going to be the flag bearer for the U.S. at the Olympics in Paris. And I thought your dive into it was really cool of all he's done that I think people forget about. I think, some people heard that he was going to be the guy carrying the flag for the U.S., and they railed against it. They're like, oh, my God, this guy makes hundreds of millions of dollars. He's a professional. He's staying at the Ritz-Carlton. He's not a true Olympian, and all the rhetoric that I heard. But you had a much different spin on it.
Well, let's start with that first, the true Olympian element. LeBron James is 39 years old. And he is coming off another long NBA season, and he's got $1 billion in the bank or somewhere. And what's he doing? He's trying to win the United States another gold medal in basketball. How is that not a true Olympian? That is the essence of the Olympian. You don't have to be struggling along, not making a lot of money in a sport that a lot of people don't care about or don't pay attention to except every 4 years. If you are willing to sacrifice your time and your free time, of which you don't get a ton, in order to try to win a gold medal for your country, I can't imagine that there's anything that says I'm an Olympian more than that. I have great respect for him. He's been a phenomenal representative of the United States in 2008 and 2012. Took the last couple off. And they were able to win gold without him in 2016 and 20. And I just can't imagine being more respectful of what he's done. In addition to the fact that over the last two games, when they did not play well enough against South Sudan and Germany, he basically just said, give me the ball, get out of my way, and went and scored the game-winning layup against South Sudan. And then I think it was the last dozen or 14 points against Germany. Phenomenal performance in coming back against the reigning World Cup champions.
He talked about his family, his wife, who he met in Akron in high school, and what he does for kids and education, the foundation that he runs, that he's just beyond the Laker great, beyond the record breaker in almost every category in pro basketball. Now he owns everything. He's way beyond that as a person.
There are two things, Scott, that people object to about him. One is that he has treated his career as I'm in charge. He's used free agency on multiple occasions, first to go to Miami, then to go back to Cleveland, ultimately go to Los Angeles, because it's what he wanted to accomplish. He wanted to win, and Cleveland's management was a wreck during his time there. So he goes to Miami and works for Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, two brilliant basketball people, and he's able to make 4 finals and win 2 titles. And then he goes back to Cleveland and pays Cleveland back, essentially, by winning a championship there in a city that hadn't had one in more than 50 years. And then he decides he wants to live in L.A., which if I were wealthy, I think I could see that I'd want to live in L.A. So he goes out there and he wins a title there. And that's one of the things that people don't like about him. And then the other thing is that he's been politically outspoken. And a lot of people think he has no place to be politically outspoken. I don't know why others in sports and society are allowed to have political opinions, but LeBron James is not. But that seems to be the case with a lot of his critics.
Yeah, I mean, he's done the Breonna Taylor stuff. He's marched. He's done everything. He's been very political. But I don't think people realize that his other Olympian, his colleagues, all these athletes are the ones that voted him to be the guy to carry the flag. This wasn't done by a committee of suits or, powerful people that run the Olympics. This was done by his own teammates, not basketball, but every sport. They all voted for him to do it. What are your thoughts on Joel Embiid's progress, if you will, or lack thereof?
Yeah, lack thereof. I was waiting for that because progress has not really been evident for the most part. I've been very disappointed by his lack of effort in the exhibition series. They won all 5 games. He was poor in probably 4 of them and passable in maybe 1. It's not been enough. And he stayed in the starting lineup, and I kind of understand why, because eventually if you can get him going, then you can bring Anthony Davis in as a closer. Anthony Davis is the best center this team has, but you can bring him in as a closer, an energy player, a guy who completely changes games when he enters. No other team in the Olympics has what the U.S. has in that second unit. However, I have been a little bit frustrated, honestly, Scott, by the absence of Tyrese Halliburton from most of the South Sudan game and then all of the game against Germany. I keep looking. Is there an injury that we're dealing with here? Nobody's talking about that. But his absence from the Germany game was inexplicable. They're not getting enough from Derek White to justify taking off your best ball mover, your best passer, from a team that doesn't move the ball and doesn't pass it. They're not. They have the ability to completely take apart opposing defenses by moving the basketball, moving people, moving the basketball. But they're not doing it. They're looking for the first passable shot that they can take. And that's not going to win them a gold medal. Unless Kevin Durant comes back and he's the one taking all those passable shots, okay, that's fine. But the guys that they have, I mean, they're great players, don't get me wrong. But the whole thing that you want to do is make it so you're indefensible. And not passing the basketball, you are defendable.
Great point, Mike. I also saw your comment about the NFLPA. Seems like they're in concert with an 18-game season, except the problem is none of the players are.
I don't understand what's going on there, Scott. The NFLPA's what part of their charge is to protect their players. And there's lots of money in the NFL now. I don't understand the league's push for it either, because they're they're not a publicly traded company, so they don't have to make more money. If you're making a ton of money, you don't have to make a ton. 0.1. You're not in that circumstance. And all of the people who own NFL teams are exorbitantly wealthy. And most of the wealth that is in an NFL team is in asset appreciation anyway. It's in, you bought the Pittsburgh Steelers for $450 in 1933, and now they're worth $1.5 billion. That's where the money is. So I don't understand this push at all. And the people who can stop it are the players. It's not good for the game. It's not good for the athletes. So why do we need it? I really am disappointed in the NFLPA not just saying, look, we're drawing the line here. We shouldn't have gone to 17, but we gave them what they asked for. We're stopping here. 17 games is plus playoffs is plenty. Too many of these playoff series are now, or playoff games, I should say, are now being decided by, well, they didn't have 4 linebackers missing, so they were the better team.
How about this Patrick Vieira story? Respectfully, I got about 40 seconds. You don't want him as the U.S. men's national coach.
No, I just don't think he's accomplished enough as a coach. He's a phenomenal player, and there are some who think, well, if you're a great player, you're automatically a great coach. It doesn't work like that in any sport. He's not been successful as a soccer coach in any of the leagues he's worked. There are many better candidates out there. Including right here at home, Wilfried Nancy, also a French former soccer player, not as great as Vieira, but a much better coach.